Hello everyone, this is Jahnabi Nath from Pandit Dindayal Upadhyay Adarsha Mahavidyalaya Bihali in Assam, and I work in the Department of English. Here I am going to present a very short introductory video on the MOOC course that I am preparing. Coming to course detail, the title of the course is Translation Studies, and this course belongs to the subject of English, and the course level is a certificate course, and total credit for this course is 4, and the total duration is 12 weeks. Coming to course description, here we are going to present an introduction to translation studies. So we all know that translation is a very basic or fundamental human activity. So in everyday work we do a lot of translation. It may be interlingual, where we can translate something from one language to another, or it may be even intralingual, where we can translate a content within within a particular language. We can there rephrase it, and it can be even intersemiotic translation, where we can change the medium. For example, a translation from a verbal content to a maybe a written text. So in this way, translation is basically 3 types: intralingual, interlingual, and intersemiotic. So all those 3 aspects will be covered here, and that's how we are going to introduce translation studies as a domain. And then this course will present a discussion on translation theories. So we all know that translation is not a very old discipline, and therefore translation theory as unified form is also not very much there in the present scenario. But then if we have to talk about translation theory, then we have to go to the West and for their theoretical interpretation. And then in Indian context, since we do not have much theories, so we have to mostly rely on the Western theories. Anyways, here in this course we are going to discuss both the Western theories and as well as the Indian context. Here in this course there will be a discussion on the present status of translation. So translation is, as I have said, that it is a very young discipline, and the status of translation had been not very much prominent in the past, but nowadays from the 1960s, since translation has got a name as a separate academic discipline, the status has been raising in the graph. So there we are going to discuss the present status of translation. The status will also include whether translation is an art or a skill or science or a craft. So all those aspects will be covered. And then we are going to discuss the basic objectives of the discipline. So translation is first of all a theory, a theoretical background it has, and then translation can be also seen from the perspective of practice, and then after all, translation is a separate academic domain. So all those 3 things will be covered, and then we'll be moving on to the central issues of translation. There are some aspects like equivalence, whether a text can be quite beautifully or nicely translated into another language. That has to be covered. And then we can also talk about untranslatability and other facts. And then finally, this course will include the recent trends. For example, we can talk about culture in translation. Then we can also talk about the post-colonial reverberation and the other stuff like politics, ideology, and so on. And this course will present translation, and the thrust area of translation here will be literary translation. So translation can be done both in the technical language and creative language, but then we are going to make it a literary translation here. And then Here in this course we are going to instill some translational skill in the learners. So that is the description. And then coming to the objectives, it will provide a general knowledge about translation studies. It will describe translation as theory, practice, and an academic discipline. It will pave ways for learners as translator by making them skilled with translational strategies. Coming to outcome, so we want to achieve these following things in the learners at the end of this course. The learner will master the basic concept of translation studies. They will be able to choose translation as a career. They will be able to see translation as a creative and critical activity and consider the subject as an independent area of study and a field of research. So that's all that I wanted to say.